What's up, Closer Nation? Welcome to this week's edition of Whiteboard Wednesday. And we're going to talk about how to find prospects, how to track them down. You know what I mean? Like you track them down. Like it's almost deer season here in Texas, right? And we put out feeders, right? Put a little bait out. It's the deers. They sneak up. They're all innocent Bambi looking. And they're like, oh, hey, look, it's just some random corn in the middle of a non-corn filled area over here. And then all of a sudden, bam, we track them down. We close them. We tag them. We bag them. Next thing you know, you're eating chicken fried backstrip for Thanksgiving. That's how we do it down here in the South. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today, how to track prospects down, unsuspecting prospects down, so you can actually have a sales conversation with them and close them. But before I get into that, there's a ton of ways to generate leads online. There's lots of Facebook experts. You see them always popping up in your news feed. It's like, I can show you how to become a Facebook millionaire. There's all sorts of people that talk about how to coach you and mentor you. If your news feed looks anything like mine does, you're probably overwhelmed with people that want to take your money and help you in one way or another, right? Sometimes people even make outrageous claims. They say, oh, we've done $1 billion in this, or I'm the #1 money-making person on all of social media and the internet, right? And I'm like, well, first of all, I think the #1 person making money on social media, his name's Mark Zuckerberg, if I was just guessed, right? So that's like automatically disqualifies anybody who says that, which you obviously see a lot if your newsfeed looks like mine. But look here, this is what I'm going to tell you, the real deal. There's a lot of people that come up out of nowhere and they say there's something they're not, right? And that's how it works in like this marketing social proof worlds, right? If I just keep telling you enough times that I'm an expert and you should hire me, eventually you'll be like, oh, that's the expert, I should hire him. That's how marketing works, right? But what's sad is that a lot of people, they know how to market to you and get you out of your money, but then they don't know how to deliver the service. That's one of the biggest things missing from the marketplace. We have a lot of good people that are good at marketing, and they've dialed in and figured out how to run Facebook ads. They figured out how to get leads. They figured out the things to do for themselves, but they have a hard time figuring it out for people like you. And if you're watching this, you've probably gone through a program that you've been disappointed with, right? You invested in some mentor or some money-making schemery or some business venture or business opportunity, and it didn't work out the way that you thought it was going to. A lot of people that watch my stuff have been burned by other coaches because, first of all, I think that because I speak the truth, I scare a lot of people away. This shit isn't easy. It's not going to happen overnight, and the only way that you can truly become a Facebook expert is by going through the experience, the experiments to gain the experience so that you can be, that you can have the expertise to call yourself an expert. But what's even better, I think, is when the marketplace calls you an expert, when they see the results of your hard work day in and day out, over and over again. They see the consistency of your posts. They get the relevancy of your message. And a lot of people, like I said, they're really good at taking your money, but they don't know how to deliver what you specifically need on the back end. And listen, I'm not like those other people. I'm not like other guys. You can cry on my shoulder and I won't make sexual advances towards you. Maybe. I just got married, so no more sexual advances anyway, other than the camera guy. He's looking kind of cute today. But anyway, so the thing is, we got a full room of people watching in here, so I try not to like let them make me laugh while I'm trying to do my thing here. So, but anyway, so listen, I want to help you out. And I have the experience, 7 years as an online internet marketer, 7 figures per year the last 2 years in a row. And I almost done it 3 years in a row, but 3 years ago, I was just like about to break through the point. This year, I'm going to do somewhere around $6 million in total revenue right here from Facebook ads. Right, like my main platform that I make money from is Facebook. I've got a group of 60,000 people called Sales Talk with Sales Pros, the largest Facebook group for sales professionals on the site itself. And so I built that from scratch, and I teach people how to build groups where they can market from it. I've gained millions of dollars in income from that group alone. I have a fan page you might be watching this from right now with 170,000 fans on it. My Instagram page has 26,000 fans, and I don't say those numbers to like brag because I don't give a shit about how many fans I have. What I'm telling you is that I have the proof. A lot of people out there, they'll tell you they're an expert and then they got 500 likes on their page. A lot of people out there, they'll tell you how many millions of dollars they made and they're driving to work in a Honda Accord. And look, I'm not knocking you if you're frugal, but look, if you're bragging about your money, you're driving a Honda Accord, something ain't adding up. So here's what I'd like to offer you. You can join a group of real people like me and other marketers that are making 7 figures too. Some of your favorite, I'm not a name dropper, but some of your favorite internet marketers that are the gurus in the industry are members of my program where you can network and connect with them. That program's called Break Free Academy Entourage. Hang out with us in the Entourage, the ultimate mastermind. You'll learn Facebook ads, you'll learn how to create funnels, you'll learn marketing strategies that work, you'll learn sales systems, how to scale your business, build a team, and everything else in between. So make sure you go to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage after you're done watching this video. So now let's get into the content here. Today I'm going to teach you how to track down prospects on Facebook, because let's just all admit it, like prospects can be some slippery bastards. It's like trying to catch a greased pig right after Thanksgiving, man. It's just not going to happen. You're all fat, feeling all unhealthy from eating all that turkey, and he's all greased up just running around with Vaseline all over him. There's no way you can get a hand on him. Same thing with internet leads, right? What happens, the internet lead comes in and it's a person's like, I must, let's say you're a real estate agent, it's a person from the internet says, I must sell my house today, and you're like, the results are in, Murray Povich. You lied, because I've been calling you for 6 weeks and you haven't answered the phone yet, right? Like, prospects can just be slippery, because I don't think that it's that you're not a good salesperson or that your follow-up game's not where it should be. I think people just tend to they forget and they tend to get preoccupied. Somebody goes in at midnight and they're facing a certain situation, and they go in, they put information in your sales funnel the next day. Let's say they were facing an argument with their wife and they were sleeping on the couch, and so you're talking about how to mend a relationship, and so they're like, your ad was for mending a relationship. They go in, they fill out the information, and that night they're worried to death that their relationship might be over. The next morning their wife wakes them up with a blowjob, and they don't have that problem anymore, right? Until it pops up again. And that stuff happens, and we take it personally as salespeople. We forget about the blowjob. We just like, hey, what happened to this person with the problem? And so here's what I want to do. I want to give you the opportunity to find prospects as quickly as possible using Facebook so that you can get in front of them. Because here's what I do know. It's the speed of getting in front of a prospect and the amount of times you follow up with them that's going to ultimately lead to the close. Because here's the thing, a close is the grand finale in a series of smaller agreements and sales. So the first thing that we've got to do is get in front of them and get them in that agreeing mood and get them ready to be sold. So the first way that you can track people down is with their mobile phone number. Most people don't know this, but on Facebook, in the little white search bar across the top, you can type in somebody's mobile phone number. Don't use dashes and don't use parentheses. Don't put numerical parenthetically. Don't put parenthetical numbers. Right? I'm trying to be all fancy with words and didn't work out. But don't put numbers in parentheses in the beginning, and don't put dashes in between them. Put somebody's mobile number, all 9 digits. If you're in America, I don't know how the shit works outside this country, so you own your own, right? But just put all 9 digits in that white space. And here's the thing, if it's a true mobile number, when you log into the Facebook app, you have to log in using your cell phone, your mobile number, right? And so Facebook keeps track of that number. And so if your prospect's profile is public, holy shit, Peter Piper. If your prospect's profile is public, then what happens is you type in that mobile number, and if they have downloaded the Facebook app on that mobile device with that number, it will show up, and it'll show up as their profile. So you just put their number in there. So when you get an internet lead and you've asked for a mobile phone number or a telephone number, if they've given you the mobile number, you can just type it in Facebook and boom, then shows up their profile. And from there, obviously, you can send them a friend request or a direct message. Another way to find prospects on Facebook is through their email, right? So most people, when they sign up for an online lead, like they go through a funnel and they give you their name, email address, and phone number, they usually give you what's called a burner email address. Right? I feel like Dr. Evil there, a burner email address. And that burner email address is something that you're like, hey, if I want to check the advertisements that come to this email, I'm going to sign up for this, and when I'm ready, I'll go check this email. Well, oftentimes people log into Facebook with that same burner email address, right? Because they get all the notifications from Facebook. It can be overwhelming. It can be tiring and annoying. And so they put all this into that burner account. But what happens is if they're giving you that burner email address, all you have to do is go back to that same search bar on Facebook and enter that email address, and if that's the email that they log into Facebook with, again, it'll pull up their profile so you can send them a friend request and ultimately send them a message request or a direct message or contact them somehow. But it's a way for when you to get an email address in from an internet lead, you just copy and paste that email address into that white bar, and it's another way that you can pull up their email address. Because like I said, it's speed of contact and amount of follow-up that matters the most. The next thing is obviously you can search by their name. And, you know, that's like obviously you can type in somebody's name. But what happens is when you type in somebody's name, it's going to pull up a bunch of different options, groups, profiles, pages, all this other stuff. And so what happens is when you type in somebody's name, oftentimes people miss it. And I know this seems really simple to some of you, but people miss it because the default is it might show up as groups or posts. And so you're looking for somebody's name, the default is either going to be groups or post, and so you're going to be seeing post about that people instead of the actual profile. So when you put somebody's name in and you hit the search bar, don't hit enter. Don't type somebody's name, their mobile number, or their email address and hit enter. You have to actually hit the magnifying glass, the search bar, the magnifying glass at the end of that white strip, or none of this shit works, right? It's like little things that Facebook's really like particular about, and you can't just hit the enter button, or it's like hitting I'm feeling lucky when you Google something, right? You just never know what the hell is going to show up. And so you want to go ahead and hit the search, the little magnifying glass on the right-hand side when you enter their name. And then you'll scroll down and pick people. And that is where the people will drop down. And oftentimes people think they can't find somebody on Facebook, which is ridiculous because there's 2 billion people on Facebook. Everybody's on there. You got the internet, you're on the Facebook. It's just the end of the world. I think the only place where people aren't on the Facebook is China, where the Facebook is illegal, right? Just to put it in perspective. And that's why we only got 2 billion versus 7, because there's like 3 billion people over there in China under that like communist. I'm just giving you crazy numbers here. So anyway, back to the story. But here's the thing. So you want to make sure you look it up, you search people's names, and then you actually go under people or profile and then look there. And then oftentimes if you're looking up a business individual, you might look under their fan page as well. The next thing is if you know where somebody works, you can look them up by their workplace. Like in my name, it says Ryan Stewman, and then like when you go to my profile, it says Ryan Stewman, and then it says CEO of Hardcore Closer. I have tagged Hardcore Closer as my workplace. For you, you might be a banker, and it might be that you work at the name of the mortgage company you work for. You might be a real estate agent, and you might work, and it says that you are a realtor at the brokerage that you work for, right? That's the idea, but most people don't know this, but you can go to the workplace, that page that people wrote down that they work at or linked that they work at, and it'll give you a list of employees there. So if you know that somebody works at RE/MAX and you're a loan officer trying to track them down, then you can go to the RE/MAX brokerage where you know that they would check in and all that stuff. You can scan the page for their check-ins, and then you can also see the people who work there so that you can select the profile as well. And then the last thing is you can search by city. Let's say that your prospect's name's John Smith. Son of a bitch, I feel sorry for you, man. I hate that when that happens, right? It's like a bunch of unoriginal people name their kids like, it's 27. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but this sometimes happens, right? And it's like, parents thought it was a good idea to name somebody John Smith, the same name as everybody else. The only benefit to that, though, is if you commit a crime, they don't know who the hell did it. And if you get a ticket, somebody else might pay it. So the thing is, though, when you're trying to find somebody with a common name, you can filter that out. So you can type their name in there, and then you can filter it out by the city that they're supposed to live in. It's like we chase foreclosures, right? One of my businesses is that we buy and sell and rehab properties. And so oftentimes we're buying that from people who are going into foreclosure. These people don't want to be contacted because everybody that's trying to contact them wants money, whereas we're a little different. We want to give them money and buy their house, so we've got to relentlessly pursue them. And oftentimes, like this house that I just bought, the guy's name was literally Richard Smith. Right? He was such a dick. Anyway, Richard Smith. And so with Richard Smith, I had to track him down. And the way that I got in touch with him to find out the details about the house was I looked up Richard Smith in Plano, Texas, which pulled up a list of profiles. I don't know which one he was, so I just scrolled the like 10 profiles that it pulled up until I seen the dude take an actual picture of his house and did a little research. That's called social reconnaissance. Sent him a message, got the details on the house to where we could clean it up, get him out of there, make sure he wasn't coming back so we could take possession of the foreclosure that we bought from the auction. So listen, there's more than one way to track down prospects on Facebook. I mean, a lot of people, they just, every day they send an email and every day they call. That's what the average salesperson does. That's what we've been trained to do since the days of Zig Ziglar, right? Make sure you follow up, make sure you make your phone calls, make sure you send your, well, Zig probably wasn't around for email, but you know what I mean. And so, but here's the thing. What I do know is that this is the modern way of selling. People, it's 93% of all phone calls go unanswered. So if you're calling people, there's only a 7% chance that you'll even get to talk to them, let alone close them. We know that only 14% of emails get read. And so if you're sending people emails and you're sending people and you're making phone calls to people every day, like, yes, that's a good follow-up game and kudos for taking action and doing something, but you need to add this element of social searching and being able to find, connect, and send direct messages to prospects. Same thing. You can, once you've got their mobile phone number, you can find them on Facebook, and you can also send them a text, because while 14% of emails get read, almost 100% of texts get seen, and like 90-something, I don't remember the exact number, 90-something% get actually read. You think about when's the last time you didn't read a text message that you got. I'm busy as hell and I read all my text messages. So, hey, listen, don't give up. If you got some prospects you're having a hard time tracking down for whatever reason, use these 5 methods to try to find them on Facebook before you exhaust anything else. And if you are a salesperson, you enjoyed this video, make sure you share it. And don't forget, go over to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage and let me show you how millions of dollars are really made through our network, our training, and our resources that we have for you. See you next week on Whiteboard Wednesday.